Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another instalment on the Daisy and Grace Quilt As You Go rectangle pattern. So if you haven't seen my previous two videos, I did a first video on just the overall technique from beginning to end. The second video was on thread basting these shapes. And then today's video has been requested by a lovely viewer who just wants a run through on how I actually cut using these templates, because as you know, you've probably all been there. You know, it's so easy to make a mistake on the cutting, and especially when you've got lovely fabric, you don't want to waste any of it. That is one of the things that I find really good about this shape compared to, for example, a hexagon. You've always got a little bit of waste around the hexagon, the corners that you have to clip off, but this, with it being rectangle and your fabric essentially being a rectangle, you only have small amounts left. You're not clipping loads off. So what I'm going to show you first of all is how I cut the outer piece. I have actually run out of my outer piece fabric, so I'm just going to use some fabric that I bought at the beginning of when I started quilting, and I don't really enjoy using it, so I'm happy to cut it up. So usually when you get fabric off the bolt, it's already folded in half, so I usually leave it folded in half. What I even sometimes do is fold it in half again. If you know that this isn't again going to cause too much waste, what I would do is check. Well, I can't actually get two out of this, but if it wasn't doubled, I might be able to. So just play around with your configuration. So for example, hope you can quite see, here I can get, if I don't have it folded, I can get 3 out of it. Okay, what I'll do is fold it so I can cut it so it's in frame, but we will unfold it when we're doing it. Let me get myself sorted. So what you always want to do is start with creating a straight edge. Okay, just because this is all frayed, when you get it from the fabric shop it might not be cut very well, and I do like to use a rotary cutter. Don't know how sharp my blade is. Ah, perfect. Right, so we've got a nice straight edge there. What you could do, if you wasn't very confident, you could just cut them out one at a time along this template. But what I like to do is butt that template right up, butt your ruler up, take that away, and you can cut the whole strip. Okay, so just do that again. You put your template right on the edge. Make sure you still got it positioned perfect. Take your template away, and now you can cut the whole row. There we go. So what we can do now, we'll start with this edge. You can put that there, and again you effectively do the same thing. Let's neaten that edge off. Start with that edge. We'll put that there. So just make sure it all fits on. Square that up and cut. I'm not going to cut them all because I'm not going to use this in the quilt. Oh, but then what you can do from here is you can just go along and cut your corners off. If you've got a rotating cutting mat, it could be really good at this point, just to rotate it to get those corners. But every time you just want to make sure you're lining everything up. There we go, and that's your backing piece, and that, well, that's 2 there because don't forget the fabric was folded in half, so that just goes on there perfect. So I just do a whole bunch of those and put them to one side, and then you can move on to the inside. Now this inside we already know is just a 5" by 2.5", and if you just want to double check that on your own rulers, you can, just to make sure. So you don't necessarily have to cut using these templates, and I don't always like to do that because I'm a bit sloppy with my cutter sometimes, and I actually cut into the templates, and I'd rather do that on my ruler, which is a lot more readily available to replace. So what we're going to do now is I've got some scraps. I've just ironed them, folded them back up, and again what I'm going to do is just work out what's the best configuration. Well, there I'm going to have a little bit of waste here. I'm probably going to have a similar amount of waste there. So what I might do is just even it out at the edge. Again, make that edge straight. And then you can do your regular use of a ruler because we know the exact measurements. So here you're going to find 2.5 inch. Put that to the edge of your fabric. Hold down and cut. And do them all in that direction first. If you're using a fat quarter, if you're using a fat quarter or actual yardage, it will be easier to not have to think what's the best way to make use of the scraps. Okay, so here, folded in half, that's not enough. So you can unfold it and put that down again. Now, if you do other scrap projects, don't throw these away. I think these are still perfectly usable. Put those in your scrap pile. And if you want to at this stage, we know we're going to get it bang on then, because sometimes it can be very hard to use a ruler. I just go like that, cut them, and there you've got your inside piece. These are essentially, we've cut them together, haven't we? So just, if you're not confident with cutting, don't do multiple layers. That would be my advice, because then if you're worried you are going to make a mistake, or if you do actually make a mistake, then you've only wasted one layer. So don't be cutting 2 or 4 layers straight away until you've got the confidence. There we go. So those are all ready. I'll probably give those another iron, because when I'm doing this technique I don't want to have the fabric bunching up, so I'll give them another iron. And all I do, let me show you, I just store all of my pre-cut shapes in just a little bag, and I've got the square ones and the rectangles. But like I say, I've cut up all of my backing fabric, so I need to make another order before I can do that. But yeah, we've got some more there. So I hope you found this video helpful. If there's any other part of the technique that I haven't covered off that you want me to do, just let me know and I am more than happy to do that for you. Bye bye.